Alright, so now we're going to look at Mosin bolt reassembly. This is probably one of the tougher parts in the whole thing, although not really hard if done properly. I'll kind of show you here. You need your multi-tool and then just your parts of the bolt. That's really all you need. Everything I kind of already pre-oiled here. So let's begin. First things first, I'm going to use this old t-shirt here. And we are going to re-thread. We're going to take the firing pin spring, the bolt body, and the cocking knob, and put them all back together. So you're going to take your firing pin spring, slide it over your firing pin, and reinsert it into the front end of your bolt body here. And we're going to press down with a good amount of force here. I got to get it past the... This is the tricky part. Just got to get past the lip here. There we go. I got to thread her back on here. Alright. I feel like that's a comfortable spot to stop. Right about there. Okay. Yeah, that probably won't be far enough. Okay. So now we got it initially set. Now, one thing you got to understand is that you have to have the firing pin distance correct for protrusion into the spent or into the fired case. So you have to adjust it a little bit. Now, that may require changing how far it's threaded into the cocking knob. Easiest way to find out if it's too far or too short is we're going to finish assembly. So you're going to take your bolt head and the L-shaped piece, and we're going to see if I can get this set here. Oops, that might help. It has to be in the uncocked position, you know. That piece just slips in there. You have to make sure you line the tab. This is a tab that actually catches on the trigger mechanism here, then pulls back to cock the firearm. This tab is grooved for this bottom piece, so you have to make sure that that groove lines up before you install the bolt head. It just makes it easier. So you may have to move the firing pin one way or another. You can see I can kind of twist it here as it's threaded into the cocking knob. Because in here it's grooved, you know, so you can only go in one way there. So now that we know that that threads in right, we take our bolt head, and there's a little notch in there. Okay, on this L-shaped piece, you can see that notch, that protruding spot there lines up with this groove here. Okay, and you use that, insert it into the groove, and then twist to lock it in. And then make sure that this little notch on the bolt head goes into the bolt body like so. You can actually see there's a little groove in there designed for it right there. Alright. And give her a good pull. And that's how you do a full assembly. Now again, we need to check the protrusion of the firing pin before we just call it good. I suspect it's pretty close because usually just about flush is usually right. but you still want to check it because I've had times where that's not entirely true. And the problem you run into is if your firing protrusion is too much, and your firing pin, when it fires, when the gun fires, this is the fire position, if it sticks out of there too much, and just eyeballing it, I think that's too much, what can happen is that it pushes the primer too much and creates a hole through the primer, causing gases to vent back as gases are going forward, which results in a lot of pressure coming back at you, possibly into your face, and it's not good for the gun either. So you want to be careful of that. Less critical is if there isn't enough. If there's not enough firing pin protrusion, you don't hit the primer hard enough and the round doesn't go off. Simple as that. So basically the way we're going to check to see if the firing pin protrusion is right is by using the multi-tool here. There's 4 notches in here, okay? You basically are going to end up using the first one and the last one as just spaces, okay? And you're going to use the middle two holes as your minimum and maximum firing pin protrusion. You can see one is shorter than the other. This whole groove is a little shorter. This is a little higher. This is minimum. This is maximum. Okay, so you have to have between those. You should have at least this much, but not this much. So what we're going to do here, so I'm going to uncock it because you got to put it in the fired position to know if that protrusion is too much there. Okay, so we're going to measure it and see if it passes the minimum test here. See if we can show that on camera here. It does. It's definitely past the minimum. Riding it over, you can see it definitely passes the minimum. And it actually does not pass the maximum. It is, oh, maybe it does. Ooh, it's very, very close. Very close. So I'll probably back it off just a hair into the bolt body. There we go. See if I can use something to twist a little better with. It's a little hard on the fingers. What the heck now? What's going on here? Looks like it does not thread past that. So apparently if it won't let me, we're going to go with the maximum. Alright, so we got it reassembled, we double checked. It passes the minimum required to fire the shell, but does not pass the maximum, so will not over protrude into the case. Okay? That's really all there is to it. It's kind of hard to screw up once you're used to it, but that is the hardest thing you'll normally have to worry about in everyday issues with these rifles. You can get that right, you're good to go. So, there we go. That's it. I hope I helped, and I hope I made it simple. If you need anything else, just let me know. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.